Okay. All right, well, today we're going to show you how to change a tire if you should get a flat. Ideally, you don't want to drive on a flat tire because it ruins the tire, but safety always comes first. So if you should get a flat tire on a busy street or on an expressway, pull over somewhere where it's safe, where there's no traffic. And if you have passengers in there, make sure all the passengers are out of the car and off to the side of the road. So if it should get rear-ended, there won't be anybody in the car to get hurt. So the spare tire is in the trunk. Another thing is that you always want to make sure your spare tire is full of air. Doesn't do any good to have a spare tire that's flat also. So in this particular car, it's underneath this cover here. And what's a good thing that does not come with the car is you should keep a block of wood with your car, because if you're not on a flat road, the car would tend to roll, especially if you jack it up. Because if it's a front-wheel drive and you're in park and you have to jack up the front of the car, well, the tires that lock the car from rolling, now it's off the ground and the car can roll. And it could roll when you have it jacked up with the wheel off, which would be a very bad thing. Or it could roll forward if you have a rear-wheel drive car. So what's good is to keep a block of wood with you in the car by the spare tire. So we're going to take out everything we would need to change this flat tire. So we have our block of wood. It comes with a small pouch with the tools we need to take the tire off, and the nuts. And sometimes you have to look for the jack. And here's the jack. Okay. First thing we do is we take our block of wood and block the tire to keep the car from rolling. Just put it there and give it a good tap. Okay, before we jack the car up, we need to loosen the lug nuts. So the simplest way is to push down and push your weight on. We want it still to be snug, not completely loose. Just loose enough so that we can get it off once the car is up in the air. Okay. Now we take our jack, and there's designated spots on the car. Normally, it's right in front of the rear wheel or right behind the front wheel. So, on this particular jack, there's a little slot here, and there's a little piece of metal that comes down, and the piece of metal sits in this slot. So we want to make sure this is on level ground, and that it's firmly in place. So you can see the car is moving up as I turn it, but you're not going to do it with your fingers. So it comes with this little bar. And in this particular case, this bar is flat on this end, and it goes in here like this, and we just turn it. So you hook it, and kind of just turn it. And you want everybody to stay clear of the car as you do this. We want it just high enough to get the wheel off the ground. now that the wheel's off the ground, you go ahead and take off the lug nut since they're already loose. For the hubcap aside, and if this is stuck on there, sometimes they get stuck. Put the lug nut back on loosely, so it's not tight, and kind of just sit back and give it a kick. Roll this out of the way. Get our spare tire. And what I do is I look through the hole to line up the stud. Makes it easier this way. So once it's on there, just start it by hand. Start the lug nuts by hand. Rock the tire, make sure they're all on by hand. Take our wrench and tighten as tight as we could get it. And always do a star pattern or a cross from each other. Because what happens if you tighten one side, it might cock the wheel, and you might think that it's tight when it's actually not tight. And then you'll be driving down a road and the wheel would sit itself in there, but the lug nuts would be loose. So we tighten this one first, then we go across. So now we can lower the car. Don't lower it all the way yet. Lower it enough where the wheel's not going to turn. And then we're going to pull up on it and tighten it some more. And tighten it as tight as you could do it. And then now we're going to let the car all the way down. We'll go ahead and tighten it the rest of the way. Normally the lug nuts are at about, you tighten them at about 100 foot-pounds of torque. So if you're a small person, you could just stand up and push with your foot. And make sure they're secure. And we're pretty much done. So just don't forget the block of wood. And we take our damaged tire and just throw it in the trunk. And for now, since this is a full-size tire and the spare is a space saver spare, it's not going to fit where the spare tire was. So